Hola! They, the global banking elite, the oligarchs, tell us, be not a cancer on earth. Leave room for nature. Leave room for nature. And, most importantly, maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature by guiding reproduction wisely. Hola, from Colombia. With the present great world confusion, I wish to do my part to accelerate the evolution of human consciousness. Please help by subscribing and sharing these videos. Thank you. Of course, the elite are not a cancer on earth, and they get to say who is. So, the plan is to eliminate over 7 billion of Earth's population because they only need 500 million of the strongest and most unconscious white sheep. They certainly do not want any of the strong, somewhat conscious black sheep. Therefore, watch out, you rebellious, conscious black sheep. You are targeted first and foremost. They don't want you to wake up those unconscious white sheep, which will become the absolute perfect AI-controlled slaves. For more information on the Georgia Guidestones, please watch my video, Coronavirus, the endgame is now obvious. Prepare with no fear. So, how can this magnanimous goal be achieved? How do you eliminate more than 7 billion people? First, they know history and the sun cycles. Let's look at this Zero Hedge article. What lies ahead? The grand solar minimum. One would expect this to have been front page news, but outside of the scientific community, this information is virtually unheard of and little understood. One must ask, why is this the case? The simple answer to this question is that the solar predictions destroy the current scientific and current narrative of climate change in the form of warming. This is another Zero Edge article. The global inflation nightmare that you have been warned about is here. Emerging markets are feeling the pain of a blistering surge in raw materials costs as commodities from oil to copper and grains are driven higher by expectations for a roaring 20s post-pandemic economic recovery as well as ultra-loose monetary policies. This is a chart of the hyperinflation in Germany. Just 2 calendar years after the end of the war, the paper mark was worth 10% of its original value. All cash savings had lost their value, and the prudent German middle-class savers were inexplicably punished. By the end of 1929, it took 1 trillion paper marks to buy a single gold mark. Oh, I can hear you saying, yes, but we have learned so much from what happened before. They know how to fix it now. We will never have to live those challenges. Right, of course. We're so smart now. We have AI. Here is information that I came across in 2003. Chris Martenson created the Crash Course, and in this course he beautifully explains exponential growth. Here's a link to this specific explanation in Mike Maloney's Hidden Secrets of Money. Chris gives us the example. Imagine a football stadium. I'm standing in the middle of the field with a magic eyedropper. This eyedropper is magic because the drop of water that comes out of this eyedropper will double every minute. So, after 1 minute, we have 2 drops, and after the second minute, 4 drops, and after the third minute, we have 8 drops, and so on. Now, let's make this park stadium watertight, and I will handcuff you to the highest bleacher seat and start this experiment at 12. How long do you have to escape from your handcuffs, knowing that this park is going to fill up with water? Mike Maloney answers, 1 day. Pretty good answer, but the correct answer is 50 minutes. However, the real important question is this one. At what time is the stadium still 97% empty space that is not yet filled with water? Well, we know that at 1 minute before 50 minutes, it would be half full. So guessing about 10 minutes before it is 97% empty. The correct answer is 5 minutes. So 5 minutes later, it's all over. Now, as we look at the world, from all of human history until 1960 to put the first 3 billion people on the planet, then only 40 years to put the next 3 billion people on the planet. This is important because Earth is our stadium, and we're living through this extraordinary period of human history when you and I will be alive during the time when human population will have fully tripled from 3 billion to 9 billion. This is putting pressure on absolutely everything, and on top of that, right at this time, we are facing the grand solar minimum. I trust that this fact makes it perfectly clear why the elite know that in order for them to maintain control in perpetual balance with nature, this is what is written on the top stone of the four-sided Guidestone monument. Let these be guidestones to an age of reason. Exponential human growth has placed the curve on the exponential growth chart. Humanity is exponentially depleting everything on earth from oil to food. The essential message is exponential processes speed up at the end in ways that the normal human mind simply cannot understand. The governments are not there to save us, and the elite are only interested in saving themselves and selectively maintaining 500 million of the best and strongest perfect slaves. So what is the solution? I mentioned before that it is not rebellion and fighting back, because the black sheep is the first one to be eliminated. The only solution is to get out of the dense, low vibrations of the sheep. White or black, a sheep is a sheep. A very small percentage of humanity is needed to transform into the new being, represented on the big picture of the evolution of human consciousness by the winged mare. Another beautiful visual is the caterpillar becoming a butterfly. They cannot touch a human being vibrating at the light vibrations of a mare, where fear is at a very low level and shrinking with every passing day. Will you join me on this very lonely journey? We only need a very small percentage of conscious humans in action. The mother estimated about 3% of the human population. Due to my peaceful non-cooperation, I went to prison. I describe my prison experience in my book, True Freedom is Inside. Please visit my bilingual website. The only solution is very simple. I must connect to my true self, my soul. Easy to say, not so easy to do. Please go into action now and make the choice between listening to your ego-mendacious mind and the external authorities, or listening to your soul the internal authority. I consult and offer tools so that you can find your individual solution by making contact with your soul. Your soul will then effectively guide you through the upcoming, long lasting, turbulent transition. Infinite love.